Our first hearing that we have is a request to withdraw the variance for 118 Main Street from Maya Grill. That should be a pretty quick and easy one if they want to withdraw it. And they can withdraw and there's no prejudice involved. So if they withdraw and they wanted to come back later, they could if there was something changed, but by withdrawing, it's not turned down, it's just withdraw and goes away. Does anyone have any questions or concerns, or I would just get a motion to withdraw it? Drop it. Any questions, concerns, anybody?
Through the chair, just the motion would be something like you're voting to grant leave to withdraw without prejudice.
I love the word, he knows all this stuff, it's better than I do. Well, why don't we hand you up for that one? Go for it.
Motion to approve the 118 request for withdrawal without prejudice.
Okay, any second?
A second.
Seconded, all in favor?
Bob Butler, aye.
Bill Andrews, aye.
Eric Russell, I.
Michael Gill, aye. I'm not.
You're not voting tonight, okay. Yep. All right, second item is
Centennial Court.
yeah, I think we should do the Centennial Court one, because that's another one. They're just looking. Is there anyone here from Centennial Court? Centennial Court is looking for a 6-month extension. Basically, they've been held up by planning until this last month, right? So they're finally through planning. They're asking us for a 6-month extension on the variance we gave or a special.
They have a special permit and a variance. So grab is the cover letter from the attorney. 6-month extension of the 2 variances. So you'd actually only be extending the variance because the special permit, you have at least 2 years to act on a special permit. I'm forgetting if the legislature increased that timeline, but for a variance, you only have a year to act on that. So they've requested an extension of 6 months to give them time to file a building permit to secure the vested rights.
And when I say they just got through planning, they just got through.
Yeah, like last meeting.
There was questions over planning, worked it out. So extensions are not usually a big issue. We give them all the time. As I just want to make sure the board has any questions or concerns. Is there anyone in the audience that is? No, I don't see anybody. Okay, all right. Mike, you want to make this motion for the
Yeah, I
extension?
move that we grant Centennial Court a 6-month extension on their
Variances.
Okay.
2 variances.
Yeah, the 2 variances.
There's 2
and
variances.
their special. Two
Right.
variants.
Two variants.
2 variances.
Under 2 variants.
Okay.
Sorry.
Seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Bob Butler, aye. Bob Butler, aye.
Bill Andrews, aye.
Eric Russell, I.
Right. Okay. Now, surprised they only asked for 6 months. Usually people ask for a year.
Eric, you're scowling. Was there something that we missed on that?
No, I was just,
All right, just making sure.
yeah, just making sure they didn't need anything for the special permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever go in the wrong direction, just kick me under.
I saw his brows go down, so that's fine.
I'm married. I follow directions
Same
well.
glasses.
Next one is we're on the comprehensive permit for 45 Milford Street. We're just opening that up again. I believe we're out of time on this and we have to at least close the public hearing. This is our meeting to get this finished up. Couple different things have come in. Dave, you want to mention what you found?
As on the topic of walkability, I've been digging through the archives, kept the documents in 2019 when I was part of the 130 residents who went to town hall to discuss the improvements that happened, but some of them did. To Upton Centre, I was part of a day-long workshop and work groups that came out of that, and there was a comprehensive set of documentation on residence requirements and other aspects. So first of all, some of the summaries of the meeting included motivations for participating in the visioning process, including safety first. Should be able to move safely through Upton Centre, especially on foot. Need to be able to walk downtown with the kids to safely cross 140 and safely access the library. That's what that is. The eventual write-up, which was delivered in May, so that was January 2019. The eventual write-up, and I should also say the Upton Centre Business District didn't exist then. This was just part of Upton Centre. We wanted a community centre that we got. The UCBD didn't come into operation until November. Part of the write-up of that includes the discussion on the project. Upton Centre also includes adjacent residential neighbourhoods. These neighbourhoods are a crucial part of the centre. Because neighbourhood residents can walk to the centre if they're provided with safe and comfortable ways to do so, they have different use patterns and needs for the centre than people who visit it by car. They are also more immediately impacted by changes in the centre. So this is to say it hasn't just been by word of mouth. It actually has been studied. And part of the Complete Streets project, which started in 2017, but was formalised in 2019, included the idea of walkability zones. So part of the project that was also delivered as part of the visioning centre that was included in the final report include a map showing key destinations for the Complete Streets plan. And the concept is a walk shed, an estimated walk shed for Upton Centre is shown in the centre of the map, which I've printed 3 copies because I'm cheap. I'll share with the committee. So there's a big bubble here, which includes a lot of community nodes, so-called, and includes a good 2/3 of Brook Street. So I think that's all input to what some of the consultants thought was important to walkability.
If at the end, you want to make sure you get the copy. And the other thing is,
It's actually public.
okay.
But it's buried in the
Sorry.
for you.
In the future,
Okay,
if you'd
but
like
I'll
me to
ask
print
you-
copies
I'll
for
send
you,
The-
in the future, if you'd like me to print copies, but
Oh,
just send
yeah.
it to me.
Sorry, I just thought of it.
Yeah,
No,
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 that's fine.
All right.
But I'll send the specific pages from that document, which is
Okay.
118 pages.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just for clarity, that document, can you just, again, name the document?
It's part of the final report by Dodson and Flinker.
Oh, okay.
Delivered in May 2019.
The 2019
So
visioning plan. Okay.
what I just quoted is some pages from it.
Yep.
And that's another page from it.
Okay.
So that's all part of the history of walkability.
Okay. We also received a letter from the chief of police, Nicholas, how do you spell his? pronounce it?
Paul Mary.
Palmieri. I've been at, I'll summarize unless I read it word for word, but basically, pedestrian safety, looking for those coming from 45 Milford Street to Upton Center. The existence of a sidewalk along 140 would be ideal. Unfortunately, is my understanding that's not going to happen. In this light, I've been asked to provide feedback, whether pedestrians should go 140 without a sidewalk or pedestrians should go down access Brook Street, proceeding to the sidewalk on 140 via Brook Street. Without hesitation, and I'll read the whole thing of this, the traffic volume, speed, in combination with the lack of room along the roadside make 140 Milford Street the more dangerous option. I believe that Brook Street is the safer option for pedestrians, and I would suggest that this be improved with additional lights. So it's not my opinion nor any one of us. It's coming from the police chief. I am, when we get to going through the individual plan, we can't make the developer put lights on Brook Street. And the residents may or may not even like that. We don't know. But if we do a pedestrian walkway out to Brook Street, some form of pedestal light might be appropriate to light that path. For his suggestion that we have some lighting, but my cravat would be that we actually put specific plantings so that we don't let the lighting go towards the adjacent houses. Henry Pori and I did this over at St. Gabriel's when we put the sign in at St. Gabriel's, we actually, with the neighbor's assistant, stood at each window in her house and looked to where the sign was, and we moved the shrubbery that we were planting to block that line of sight of the lights from the sign. So the neighbor does not have any lights going from that St. Gabriel sign into their living room, and that made for a better environment for the neighbors. So my suggestion is that when we get to this point in which I'm at, I think, Mike, we should be going, as you guys are gonna ask for comments, questions, concerns. I think we have to go through that document now as to what it is. The one you sent out, the conditions. I think we have to go through all that now.
Excuse me,
Yes.
would you mind speaking up a little bit? You've been sitting in the front, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
Okay. What I was saying was, the police chief is suggesting some form of lighting. What I'm recommending is what we had done at St. Gabriel's. When we put the sign at St. Gabriel's, we stood at the neighbor's windows, looked at the sign, and then we moved the plantings to be in the way of the lights so that you didn't see the lights from the windows of any of the neighbor's house. I think that's a good way to do it. It only took Henry and I an afternoon, or not even a whole afternoon, to do all those plantings. But downlighting is very effective. I'm stunned by 148 Main Street, how dark it is. When you drive up on that, you don't really notice the building that much. But I still think that if we're going to take the police chief's suggestion, that we should put a provision in there that some sort of shrubbery or something gets in there that blocks the light from the adjacent property so you don't see it. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
I understand.
Are you okay with that?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Mike, what would be the best order for us to do this in, or?
Yeah, before we get into all that, just for the record, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to highlight that you did receive some other butter letters soon after your last hearing, which I just brought up just so people could see that they were received. I think that's an older one, June 22nd. That's the chiefs that we just looked at. Sorry, this thing's in my way. You saw that.
That's the chief's letter, yeah.
Yeah, you guys
saw
one
that.
from Henderson, dated July 14th.
Yeah, so,
So that was distributed. It's on. Let's see the other one from June 11th. There's another one. Is it this one, June 22nd?
To the left. Ann Sullivan, is that the one that is?
John Daly.
Davey. Is it? I put them all in there. So if anybody knows of a letter that you sent that I'm not displaying, I just wanted to display it so you know that we received it. But obviously, as you can see, as I comb through the documents, there's a lot of documents. Now my mouse isn't working. I just wanted to mention that for the record. Obviously, everything on the website that I brought up under the document center is for the record as well. Mr. Chair, what was, sorry to cut you short.
No.
And
No,
wanted
I'm
to
looking for a
direct-
little guidance
yeah.
on how to do this. Still looking at the plan. One of the things we spent a lot of time, the 40B behind the funeral home, is looking at plantings to make sure that there was some coverage, that some of the neighbors had come in up there, worried about headlights going into the back of their windows, and they wanted certain plantings. We have not spent the time that I would have liked to discussing plantings.
Okay.
If you look at the map here, you can see where, look, you see the V in the middle, which has a lot of plantings and stuff. The part I'm concerned about is up towards Brook Street. I see a fence in the current plan.
if I could speak to that a little bit, so just, one, that plan is old, Mike, I don't know.
It's the old plan.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible maybe to pull up the newest plan set with the landscape plan, August.
Oh, you know what?
I was looking at the old one too.
Yeah, so,
No.
so,
We had a system update on August 4th, so everything shows us that date in the system right now.
gotcha.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm realized. That's why I'm getting confused, because I've been going in order.
Oh,
That's
Will it say
the,
version though? It might say
it
version.
might, final plans, oh, August 6th.
6/26, that might be. No.
Back.
They changed the date.
That's final compressed 8/6.
I think that's the latest.
might-
Yeah, I think it is. Just gonna take a while to load because it's a plan set.
yeah, because I'm looking at the old one.
Yeah, and Bill, just to talk to your point there, on the other on the other side of the Brook Street. So that has a vegetation there that's already a natural buffer. If you remember, we had a unit there that we took away.
Yes,
So that is, we can't really plant anything there because it's all like,
so that line that's drawn there, that's kind of wiggly.
yes.
That's natural.
Line, that's the natural buffer that exists. When you kind of go, when on the property, we could, in theory, cut that, but we've obviously pledged not to, and we took that other unit because of it. So,
And that's something you've worked with the neighbors?
correct, yeah, so it was one of the first things, because obviously, when you're out there, we don't want to take away the natural buffer that's there, so,
I just want to make sure that there's something there.
yes.
And if you've already communicated to them, we'll reach out to them.
And there is some more landscaping on the landscaping plan, in this as well.
Thank you.
Does that include the path itself?
Sorry,
Does that include landscaping the path itself? To Brook Street?
no, we don't have any,
Okay, then.
yeah, landscaping on that.
Well, I think,
On the landscaping plan.
How far down is landscaping?
Oh, that's pretty far down,
Yeah, it's towards the end.
towards the end. So that, you can see the grading plan there, it shows the fence. There's an earth berm there with a fence.
Oh, yeah. Which
If you go to the landscaping plan, which is a couple more, it'll show plantings as well. Yeah, it's after the detail sheets, so there's 4 detail sheets.
well, we just spent a lot of time on the others, and I think it's best if we give it some time. And folks.
It did.
board
Okay.
members, just make sure you guys, I don't want to, this isn't my circus. I want all you guys to chime in with questions, concerns and everything, just kind of a free for all thing. Okay, I see, okay, I see all that planting there. Okay.
Yes,
Um,
and then the lighting, we made sure to keep it away from the Milford Street or first light pole, just so it didn't, affect anything on that street. So, we do have a fair amount of plantings, which we reviewed with our kind of landscaper, as well as, altered a little bit during Concom. Peter, anything to add on the plantings?
No, it's just the area that we went over, the area that you're talking about, we went over that about specifically.
Okay,
And that's why we have the earth berm there, a fence and plantings.
all right, that's good. No, I wasn't, I did not have this I did not see this version. I saw the previous version. I just want to make sure it was in there. The only thing is if you can scroll so we can see up closer to Brook Street on that. It's gonna look for a bunch of head nods. Yes. Still no, it's okay. Sorry. Because we're gonna have to have some plantings there too.
So are you asking about whether we should
Be
vote
required.
on the,
Because we gotta make this decision.
absolutely, yeah. I'm just asking if that is the first vote we're taking.
Yeah,
Then,
can I just give an update just on a few other things quick, and then, and make a suggestion, maybe close the hearing and then start the kind of votes? Or how?
I don't want to close the hearing because I walked away from the other meeting very confused on whether some of the abutters wanted the fence, didn't want a fence. I wanted to get clarification from them to make sure we got if there was gonna have to be something there, do they want the fence, do they not want the fence, how tall is the fence? And if I close the meeting, I don't think I can take that from a
That-
better.
That's true, yeah.
So I want to ask that question.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I think I brought up last time, you may not have heard, that it would be adequate to have something 1'6" tall enough to suggest, to discourage any pedestrians and dogs from closing into it, whether it's a wrought iron fence or planted.
Even a rail fence,
But it needn't be barely visible to be able to say to anybody with intelligence, don't jump over this fence.
I think the one at Amato Farm was a rail fence. So if they don't want to have a barrier wall, a rail fence is certainly not a barrier. You know, it stops people from cutting through or, and stuff like that. But it's just a visual reminder where it's not a wall.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Um,
Just a visual reminder, it could be a vegetation or a rail.
Right.
Yeah.
I concur.
Vegetation means maintenance, of course.
Yeah, where a cedar rail split fence will last quite a while, a number of years. I don't know the information for the question that I have that I want to ask a member of the audience, but I wanted to open it up to you guys to. Are there any questions? All right, we sure probably, what other updates do you have before we go and?
Yes, yeah.
Litigation?
Kevin apologizes. He couldn't be here tonight. He's taking his daughter back to college, but wanted to,
Yeah, that's fine.
which could be here. We did get a clean letter from Stantec. So the plans changed slightly, but I have Peter here if there's any kind of questions on that. So always a pleasure to work with David Glenn. So that is set. The building, the site plans, building plans are kind of done. Kevin has tremendous respect for the board and the neighbors, and at the end of the day, our feeling is still the neighbors have been great to work with, and their request since day one has been no walkway, and that's how we feel, and what's what we'd like to still have happen. We understand, like kind of how the other side of it as well, but I would say probably just give everyone clarification in the room, maybe it's just, I know can't take a vote until it's official, but a vote on whether the walkway happens and see kind of where it goes from there, but that's obviously up to the board.
Yeah, the board makes that decision. We did a straw poll last time and sort of have an inkling of that. I think the police chief's letter is pretty strong. I'm always an advocate of safety, especially when it involves, these are 3 bedrooms. We're not going to go in. My goal tonight is to get the job done that we have ahead of us tonight.
Yep.
Okay, and I don't want to relitigate that. We've spent 3 months relitigate that. But what I do want to do is mitigate this as best we can. I don't know if Mr. Henderson wants a fence there or doesn't want a fence there. And I want to ask, are you guys okay with me just stopping a second and asking that question? Because I was confused last time. Do you want that fence, a big long fence along that if you do a walkway, or do you not want a fence there? I want your opinion, because I'm open for discussion because I'm asking a simple question. Do you want a fence there or not?
My question is, can I also make a statement?
I'm not opening this can of worms.
No, I know, but I still.
You have made multiple statements. I think you're aware how members of the board feel. I think.
don't know how the members of the board do. I think the board needs to take a vote.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But I think we're aware of how you feel. But I am asking you, I'm trying to deal with mitigation.
Maybe should we deal with the underlying question before we get to mitigation?
Sure. If you want,
I mean, just,
My question is to do that and then.
all right.
Mr. Chairman, I have the proposed text for a condition to be added to the list of conditions. Is that appropriate, do you think, right now? Sorry, through the board.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Chair, do you want to hear David's proposed? Yeah. Do you want me to read it or you want to?
You can read it. It's his vote's just strong as mine.
Yeah, David just handed this to me. The applicant shall pave a path adjoining Brook Street to the property, usable by residents of the property and emergency services, and accessible under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Maintenance of the path shall be the responsibility of the applicant at first and then the homeowners association. A sign shall be erected at the street end designating the path as private property, and a barrier between the path and adjoining properties shall be constructed substantial enough to discourage pedestrians and dogs from leaving the path, but no larger. And then you penned in some stuff.
I just, after that discussion with Bill,
Okay,
I just scribbled that in at the end.
pedestal lighting must be provided along the path, aligned to shine away from the neighboring properties.
All right, he wants to vote. I think we can move forward if we have a vote, Mike.
I just have one question.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
What is the possibility of the state putting in a sidewalk on 140?
It's a time thing. At some point.
Is there any idea of how much time?
There's no current proposal.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty certain they will put it in, because it's now on their radar and has been added to their list of projects. Adding the sidewalk is in keeping with DOT's, I don't know what they call them, rules or regulations or guidelines or whatever. But those, that is the rules that the DOT follows for their own, I'll use the word term, complete streets rules. Again, not sure if that's what they use, but so I'm confident that that will go in. But what the chair was saying, Bill was saying, is that, yeah, I also have no idea when, because they have not provided us a timeline.
One of the things that concerned me that was brought up at the last meeting is that site that's south of this project can be developed into something, condos or apartments of some sort, and that people would then use that access to get out to Brook Street if that was to be done. They would go through this project, down that path, and to Brook Street.
But so this is why we have to have the signs at private. Do you want the private property at both entrances, at the main entrance also?
Yeah, that's not gonna stop anybody.
Yeah. I want to follow up question on the sidewalk on 140 before we move further along. Is the town prohibited from putting a sidewalk along 140 because it's a state road, or would it have the same ability to put in a sidewalk? I just asked because one of my colleagues was dealing with a similar situation with a housing project where they wanted a connection to sidewalks, and their town actually used CPC funds to have the town install sidewalks since they couldn't require the developer to do it.
Right.
So I don't know if there are any other options to explore for a sidewalk on 140.
I don't have an answer to that question.
The other challenge is you look at the sidewalk coming down High Street, coming around the corner onto school. There's a big chunk of sidewalk missing there. And it's been missing there for, well, it's never been there. So I mean, we don't know when that's going to get filled in. If we want to add a condition that the development, should a sidewalk get built, close this subject to appealing to the selectmen.
Let's put that to a vote, it's a separate vote.
All right, I can do that. You guys okay with that? All right, so what?
I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I will say, I met with Mr. Henderson. I went to his property, walked around, looked over there. And also having, spoken with the project proponent and everything, I have come around to a different opinion on this. I see this as, I understand the safety concerns. I do think that people coming and looking to purchase units here, for them, this would certainly be an amenity and a benefit. But when they come and look at units, if there is not a walkway there, they will know they don't have walking access to downtown. And that's a choice that they will have to weigh when deciding whether to buy this. So they're making a choice. This is not quite the same as us putting people out onto 140.
Sure.
And they have other methods of getting to the downtown. I think while I like the concept, I like the idea of the walking path. I think that the neighbors and the project proponent have worked very well together on this. It's something that we ask everyone to do. I think they've done an excellent job of that, and I don't want to penalize anybody for that cooperation that they've shown. So I have come around to a different opinion on this.
I didn't hear you.
The hard part I get here,
I have changed my opinion on this. I am in favor of not doing the walkway. That's,
I mean, my thing is you go here from the police chief, who I think is the most authoritative person on this subject. The
I
police
understand
chief
for what
is saying
is.
without hesitation, I believe that the traffic volume speed in combination and the lack of room along the roadside make 140 the more dangerous option. These are all three bedrooms, which means kids, and they're gonna want to go to the park. So how do they get there? If you're gonna walk and you believe in a walkable up, then. But this is the police chief's thing.
and I understand what you're saying, and there's no disagreement as between the two roads, which one is safer. The question is, are we actually forcing people onto 140? I think, and I don't see that we are.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I was just talking to somebody about that yesterday. People come, buyer beware, they're coming to buy it. And they know what they're buying if there's no sidewalk. I don't think it's great. I think 140 is dangerous. I really.
I
I
agree.
mean, I
140
like the idea of the walking path and would love, if everyone agreed to it, I would love to see it happen, but I agree that it does impose a burden on the houses that are right next to it. It does impose a burden on the project itself because of the risk of people cutting through, the maintenance obligations, all of that long term. If
But
they,
what's about the values? Okay, we've set in our town planning documents that walkability is a value of the town. The number one value for that was safety.
Yeah, I think if this was built without that pathway, it would put more pressure on the state to put in the sidewalk.
How long are we gonna wait for that?
Well, hopefully not until someone gets hit by a car.
Which could happen quickly. I just, in terms of the values that we have expressed.
Yeah.
It's in terms of values that we've expressed and the concerns of our chief safety officer. The safest thing to do.
Can I say,
So-
not having a pathway more or less force the residents to drive the quarter mile downtown?
it does.
That's a burden to them. And also when it comes to pedestrians on Brook Street, it already has them. It has kids riding bikes on Brook Street. So that it's increasing the number, to be sure, but it's not increasing it's not changing the nature of the street.
Just on the sidewalk too, we do, the local, representative for the senator and the congressman of the town is both on the radar now. And regardless of how the vote goes, I do think extending that sidewalk makes sense. And like Mike said, it will get done. No one's ever gonna tell them that stop when, and make a bet on that, but it is a priority for, I know, the local state senator and rep.
I just know that right now, we're about to do 30 million on the DPW. The high school field budget thing is, they're looking at 2.5 over. Money's about to become very tight. People are screaming. If you don't mind, I think we've got a tremendous amount of, but we need to work this out. And we do it publicly because we're a public meeting. I want your opinion.
My thoughts are, based on the size of the community, that there will not be a large volume of people needing access to that walkway. Prior to this development, right up through the driveway, that was labeled as a road.
Yes,
It was a road. Now, suppose they decided to keep the road and build on each side of it housing. What would the neighbors say then? It's a road. It's always been a road.
yeah, I think it's more of a driveway. But in terms of where we're at,
So the landscape plan has the pathway there is, with a gate there, is that still that intent to happen, or is there gonna be?
Well, we get to decide that.
I want their opinion.
Through the chair, the current, this is the latest iteration of the plan. It does not show a gate. That is
It does
showing a
not show-
fence right
okay.
across.
So it's straight across.
And just for clarification, that was it. Yeah, I think Google Maps captured that as a road incorrectly, but that was always the driveway that served the house on that lot.
That's correct.
Okay. Um. I don't think the volume should warrant a path being needed.
How about a compromise with flat grass?
Well, that was the other thing I was wrestling with is that how do you make it aesthetically pleasing so that not to draw attention to it, but still have access to it? Grass, it still has to be maintained. That's the responsibility of the HOA to still have to maintain that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta ask, could you guys speak up a little bit?
Sorry.
One of my ears is temporarily clogged, hopefully
Okay.
temporarily, I can't hear.
You're not alone.
What a basic this one.
I'm on the don't need a path. I'm kind of on with that. Regardless of what, even though the chief of police has expressed his opinion, I'm going based on the size of the community, the volume isn't going to be there to worry about it.
That means the impact into the neighborhood shouldn't be that high anyways. I know where Bob is. You still, where are you, sir? Because
Well, I also went down there and walked around a bit and saw it. You know, in a perfect world, it would be good to have the access. But I think it's a lot to place on the people who live on Brook Street to have, particularly if there's gonna be a bigger volume down the road without a sidewalk on Main Street.
okay.
Right. I just want to repeat something I said when this first came up. With respect to the fact that the residents have been there for a long, long time, we and all town boards are stewards of both the current and the future residents of Upton. We're talking about a lot of residents of Upton that we owe some consideration to. So I'm not saying 60 people should have but they do some, whoever they may be, in the end, I'll do some consideration as well. For their own. Everybody, in this world of increasing housing pressure, everybody is going to be experiencing changes in their environment over the years.
All right. Are you okay with grass? I don't want it to be a barrier. These people own the land. They could the week after change it to whatever they wanted, but if they chose the path.
The people that don't own no land. The back owns the
Right, but
land.
the HOA
HOA owns.
it's gonna own that land. That's what I'm saying.
They're responsible.
We have a little grass path right along the side of this very building.
I am not in favor of requiring a path.
Yeah,
And I think it's a tough call, because I agree with the other points being made about, considering future residents as well, and desire to have a walkable downtown, but this is a balancing act, and I think I've just leaned towards respecting the deal that the proponent and the neighbors have reached in this situation.
Yeah, I have to say, Mr. Henderson, you asked me if I would like it happening next to me, and the prospect of it, well, no. But to be frank, I think it's in the best interests of the town at large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So no path wins out on that one. Just fine. That's where you guys are looking on decision. So let's move on from that point. Okay, let's go through the other conditions. Pull up the condition ones.
And then let's make one more. We talked about dogs, and even if the dogs are roaming around the lot itself, can you rent contain one of those posts with bags and trash receptacle within the property?
It's already in there, isn't it?
I don't do like the dog kind of waste bags. I don't.
Oh, dog one, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think that's in there, but we're fine. We can
Yeah.
have that in there. Obviously, it's gonna be maintained by the HOA when it's gets taken over by them. But we can meet Mike and
It
work.
would have to be, but there's plenty of opportunities for them.
Yeah, we can add that somewhere on the plan, or we'll make it a condition and then it'll be added to the plan. We won't throw it.
Well, I didn't want to make it formal condition, because it's such a small thing. But
Oh, yeah, conditions.
if you can do it, just do it.
Yeah, we're fine representing that decision too, so, you know.
Mr. Chair, I had been keeping a list of conditions. I can bring those up if you want, but
Yeah,
I just I skipped to the conditions of the draft decision. I had gone through the decision but last Friday with Dave. And I was satisfied with the conditions being reflective of what we had talked about so far. And the only thing I would ask, and I might, if I could find an opportunity in the draft conditions, maybe after tonight, if you take a vote, is just making sure that the conditions are clear that the town can and likely will request additional escrow funds to engage likely Stantec as being our peer review.
Check it at the end. Make sure
Yeah,
it's
to,
good.
to conduct inspections during construction pursuant to the approved plan.
Isn't that on there?
I think it is, but I want to make sure that it's written on there clearly. With the way I read it, I said, I think that's good, but I don't know, I might offer some suggested changes to the actual language to make it a little bit stronger in what I just said.
Did you erase one somewhere? So
Yeah, there was something was deleted. I forget which one.
It was the parking.
oh yeah, parking
Park on
on
the street.
the street, right? It's just the bird.
Oh, yeah, so there was a condition on it that prohibited parking on Milford Street, right? That was, so the reason why I took that out, and I suggest that it be taken out, you could put it back in if you want, was a couple reasons. One, the parking's already prohibited on Route 140 on Milford Street per DOT regulations, per the law. That is something that I think a lot of folks in this room already know, that the DOT defers to the local municipality as to whether or not that municipality will enforce that. So as you look out that window right now, you can see people are parked on Route 140 right here, right? That's because the town chooses to not enforce the no parking rule. We choose to, not me. The town chooses to not enforce that for the benefit of the businesses that are here. So that's another reason why I didn't want to put it in, is because that is technically a business district.
That what?
This area is a business district. So, I mean, it's currently not used for much business right now, right? Except for the gas station across the street, but it is your business district as a town. You've decided that is where you want to have businesses located. Again, it's neither and I don't take it out as an indication either which way. What I think should happen, I'm not saying there should be parking on 140 right there, and I'm not saying there shouldn't. I'm saying I don't think we should address it through this.
So you're taking out B46.
Which document is this?
This is the most recent.
Is it, where could, I want to pop that up on my screen. It's hard for me to read it. I can scroll through it because
B46, correct.
Oh, so this is the old one.
is this the public here on the public hearing webpage, or is this?
Yeah.
It's,
You
What's
you
the
sent
name of
around
it?
your, sorry, you sent around your markup.
Did I sent around a new markup? Yeah. Well, this is the one that's on the documents page.
and it's not what's the name of it so I can pull it up here? I see the applications, I see the final plans. I'm looking for,
The draft 8 August 6th. I believe.
I wish it had dates, August.
I know, yeah.
Draft decision August 6th. Pretty sure that's the one.
Why am I not seeing that list? I'm seeing a different list. See, I'm seeing a different.
Yeah, 'cause that's the one I already downloaded.
On a different page.
Oh, yeah, you gotta get the meeting materials page.
Okay, so conference.
One link above that,
Oh, sorry.
meeting,
Oh,
above that meeting
meeting
materials,
materials, okay.
yeah. And then link to document center.
Oh, yeah, no longer.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you scroll down, it's alphabetical, so draft D. Draft decision. Revised August 6th.
Numbers don't count or do count. Okay, page
Yeah. There you go.
Here we go, this one. August
Yeah.
6th, okay. Hey, why are you not doing this? Libre Office. Actually,
They just send you a marked up copy around for
Yeah, let me share that one. Hold on.
130.
okay, here we go.
Couple of grammar changes too.
Oh, is this not being shared? It's not. We're just seeing that locally.
Is it you staring, is
Yeah,
this?
it's sent it at.
Yep.
Friday the 14th to 1:33. Change words to A3 and A4. And you put that out. And that's it.
Yeah, so this, I'm sharing the one that I'd sent around, which there weren't many changes really.
Should I go to my email and look at it? Is it?
Yeah.
Substantially, okay,
No, I mean, it's not substantially different, really. I changed around a couple words.
okay. I'm just
I
gonna.
mean, I took out.
We'll see Mike just correcting some grammar.
Yeah, I mean, regulatory conditions A3, the applicant should notify the board and the town planner. Originally said when building permits are issued and cooperate with the preparation of requested forms, add units to SHI. I just changed it to after building permits, just to, it's made it sound like it had to happen
Same,
exactly when, yeah. And, you know,
the same in A4.
and then the same with the next one. It said when, I changed it to after, just to not have to line it up with those events, because that's not how things happen. And I'd hate to be held to that standard, because it won't work that way. There was the peer review comment, which I haven't marked up here. I just am making that comment generally for your consideration tonight. I forget where that condition lives. There's a lot of conditions. So this is a bit of a Frankenstein decision. Document
B5.
B5. Oh, I was right near it.
Shut this off.
Mr. Chair, this is John Smolak, representing the applicant. It's C2 is the post-permit peer review provision in the decision.
Thanks, John.
Sure.
The applicant shall pay for all the board's prior and outstanding peer review fees. Yes, within 30 days of the comprehensive permit, the applicant shall pay all reasonable post-permit peer review and post-permit inspection fees by, yes, that's perfect. Okay. For some reason, I remembered it differently, but that's written correctly. Or not correctly, just in a way that I find acceptable. Which sounds so condescending, I apologize. Oh, the other thing I wanted to make mention of was, and again, John, I don't know exactly which condition it is, but I assume we have in here limits on work times, like Monday to Friday, 7 to 7. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we carried that just the last as well.
Oh, here it is, B56. The only thing I would add to this is there might come a time where DOT requires work at night to be performed to hook up utilities or something like that. That might not happen with this one because they are already pursuing utilities through the ongoing project.
Yeah.
But I learned very recently that when we are dealing with state roads, and if there needs to be connections to utilities or any work within the state right of way, if there needs to be a lane closure, the state requires that the work be done. Well, it depends on other things, but the state requires that the work be done at night. And so we as the town can't override what DOT tells it. And then we're telling the applicant something different than what the state is telling them. And then there's a conflict. So I wouldn't want that to arise. So I would just put in some language, something relative to DOT permits or anything else that would disrupt that. Anything, but obviously anything within the town's control. These are the working hours.
I just noticed one point on that and B55. So B55 talks about trucks or otherwise during daylight hours between 7 and 6. But the daylight restriction does not appear in 56. So if it's still dark at 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m.
Wait till the new daylight savings.
Sorry.
If they get into that.
Tiny thing there, but I think we can expect them to be reasonable, but it's just, there's an inconsistency that doesn't bother me much, but it's there.
I think we're gonna have to stick with the time because if they change the daylight saving things, it could be dark till
Yeah.
8 in the morning here. Yeah, so
But I don't have, not in the forum, but
Through the chair, would you just like to eliminate the reference to daylight hours and B55 and just have it time restricted?
7 to 6.
Seems reasonable.
Everyone good with that?
yeah,
Everyone good with that?
yeah, with that.
The other question that came up was the cost of sewer hookups. And I don't know if that's in here. I'm looking to see if I can find it.
Put that in the waivers.
Yeah, I think it's what you've heard.
I mean, Mr. Chair, I think that was under waiver number 16 in the draft decision. This was the waiver list that was originally prepared.
Just getting down there.
Okay.
Michael. I think there
Thank
may
you.
be one small fix in condition B16.
Mhm.
Says the applicant shall pay the water and sewer connection fees due in accordance with the agreements by and between the applicant and the town of Upton, and as otherwise waived by this decision. I think it should say except as otherwise waived by this decision.
Is this the only, chapter 223, is this the only reference of that waiver, John? Am I on the right one?
Yes, it's, again, it's under, in your draft decision that you had up, it's under number 16.
Okay.
Just for my information, this is referred to as a condominium. 17, is it governed by state condominium law?
Will it be governed by, like, what do you mean?
Living in a condominium, I know there are a lot of other stuff we have to do.
Yes, yeah, John, correct me if I'm wrong.
Living in a condominium.
Yes, or it'll be an HOA, no, HOA, it'll be a condo association.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it would be governed by all those standards.
Eric, right here, it's, you want accept otherwise.
No.
Yeah, in B16.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, down further.
Yep,
Yeah.
and after Town of Upton. Yep, instead of, yeah, yep, instead of S.
It was a missing word, not a replacement of a
Yeah.
word. Okay.
Yeah,
So the part I was before on the waive was Kevin has requested that at least for the moderate income ones that they're not be a sewer connection fee. And I'm looking for that to make sure it's in there. If the board wants to have that in there. But I know that is something specifically that was requested. And I would want to make sure that it's in there and in there based on the board's decision. I don't want it to just be something we didn't talk about. That was the request just for the low income apartments. The connection fee.
right now, the waiver as drafted gives a 50% reduction for the entire project.
Are you
I,
on 60?
yeah,
Yeah, that is how.
Okay.
I know it came up in the previous meeting. I believe the last 47 million it was a 50% reduction on the affordables.
Okay, see at the bottom.
This one, we're requesting a 50% reduction on all of them. The biggest reasoning, just it's a for sale project, they're generally tighter and on every affordable unit, we tend to don't make a profit. So we were asking for 50% off, we were being for everything on all units. Happy
just to be clear, that on the theory that, I mean, that covers the affordable units, but because it's denser, the connection is just easier than making 27 connections.
Well, it'll be 27 it'll be 27 connections. Because everyone, they'll be sold, everyone will pay their own. Kind of, so it was just a way of kind of just because the affordable ones, to be frank, we lose money on, so, to help anything to help that project, these projects tend to be a lot tighter than some of the rentals, so happy to discuss that with the board, but, that's why we asked for 50% on all the units.
I'm surprised with the amount of stuff I see in there from the state right now, that you guys didn't charge them the rent to pay off.
Yes, yeah, that's the other.
I'm just kind of, I'm stunned when I see how much they've got in there. Taking over the whole thing. They're not just parking a few things.
And we did not charge the town rent.
You guys, so it's straw poll. Bob, you good with what's currently written there? Bob? okay.
I'm okay with that.
Mike, you okay with that? You okay with it?
You haven't yet taken the vote on the pathway yet. This be.
I just did a
A straw.
a straw poll.
Yeah, I would suggest,
Yeah, we did, I did not record a vote for Bob.
Oh, Bob does not want the path.
Oh, okay.
So, you know what, the board may. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I have. I believe what everybody,
yeah, through the chair, it was pretty clear that the path is
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But it should that, I mean, you can certify it through the motion on the comprehensive permit. So you don't, in order to, I mean, you're voting on the comprehensive permit and as the plan is submitted, so
Yeah,
The
so
path is not on.
which
The
path is not on.
Yeah.
Correct. So it doesn't, I guess, long-winded way of saying you don't have to take a separate vote on that since the issue seems to be dead.
Still confused. Will be a problem.
no, these are the votes, the tentative votes.
Yeah, I don't vote.
Well, I just.
I thought.
I put your opinion.
I mean,
I thought Eric. changed-
nothing's prohibiting, Mr. Chair, nothing's prohibiting the board from just taking an official vote on that matter, but it doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah, I didn't think, I thought it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Um, Going through this, I just want to make sure every single one of you has a chance to question any of these conditions that you want to question.
I didn't have any, after the draft was sent around, I sent back to Michael,
Thank you.
not on anything substantive, little,
Tweaks.
typos, whatever, had worked their way in. And I didn't have any other concerns about the conditions as written.
Either of the Bobs have any concerns with the conditions as written by Mike?
No,
I read it and except for the grammatical stuff,
Okay,
I'm okay with it.
okay. Do we have to close the meeting first?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
we have to close
The question I just asked Eric is, if we're gonna vote on this, we have to actually close the meeting first. And he says yes.
I don't know if you want to. I don't know if anyone else has reviewed this long document, these conditions, and has any comments on it. If you want to open it up one last time.
Sure. I've always accepted that. Okay, has any, per Eric, we always have traditionally always opened it to the public. Any questions about or comments about the conditions? Yes, ma'am.
I don't see any plantings. That's good. And that's what the other people on Milford Street are doing. I don't know if I heard correctly that there's only a 12-foot setback from 41 Milford Street. Vegetated land subject to flooding. So yeah, right there,
Down at the bottom there.
yeah. It's the white pine is there now, but on that property? Is there anything in there? Because those are, yeah.
I know there's some trees in there. I don't know if those trees are subject to being planned to be removed. I don't see them on the plan, but I know they're there. At the entrance there, on the right-hand side of the entrance you're talking about, or the left?
On building C and D.
Yeah,
At the
That's not
back.
the landscape plan, sorry, that's the lighting plan.
Yep, that's later.
My bad. Oh, that's the lighting plan, that's why. There we go.
That makes more sense.
Is there any landscaping there?
No,
Is it just walls and?
it's a wall, it's a retaining wall and then grass to the structure.
because it kind of drops off there.
It drops off, yes.
Drops off there. I think that,
Yeah, we're looking at 33 Milford Street now, and that's pretty awful. So I'm, concerned about what it's gonna look like on the other side.
a row of giant abrevieties, which the deer don't like as much as regular abrevieties.
I mean, we
Would
were-
hide it.
We were a neighborhood before we were busy now, so.
Concur. That's exactly one of the things I want to make sure we do.
Mr. Chair, just, we do have some, I believe, plantings on the, like, closer, you get to Milford Street, yeah, right there. So those were put in, so someone, obviously driving by as well, next to the building, so they could see. In respect to 41 Milford, I mean, we do have a wall, so not a retaining wall that's kind of back there as well. I know there are obviously issues with 41 Milford Street that I don't want to get into, but there will be, for at least for the time, a pretty good buffer between obviously that and the neighbors next door.
I think
It's,
through the chair, and you're sort of, are you over here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's down to the right, yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's down.
Yeah. And the, some of the plantings in front should help the view, because I feel like you'd be more of an angle.
But the point I was gonna make on Ann's behalf, I guess, is that, Mr. Chair, is so she'd be looking towards the decks, right? And
Yeah, no, I agree.
right in between, but my larger point is that 41 Milford Street is in between their property and Ann's property. So she'd be impacted by whatever happens on 41 Milford Street.
Absolutely.
I would offer to the chair, and the applicant, is there enough room to get additional plantings behind those decks? I don't know. That's a question I have.
Well, if you look at the scale, it's got to be at least 20 feet, right?
No.
I was told 12 feet at the last meeting, and I'm also stuck on the fact that there's wetland, it's a budding wetland. And I know that is an issue. Conservation, there was litigation about that, so, but it's still wetland, so.
Yeah,
It bothers me.
sorry,
Yeah.
there is ongoing, I don't know if it's in litigation, but things being worked out with 41 Milford Street. I don't know anything about what's happening today. I would say
Yeah.
at some point they will have to come in front of zoning and planning board and, obviously, given the relationship with the town, I would expect them to try to work with whatever they're trying to do there, given the history, but I'm not gonna speak any more on that, so.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it's the litigation was the opposite side of the property. It actually didn't involve this. end
Wasn't
of
it
the
where the
property.
sewer station was placed?
The
Yeah,
pump
they
station.
did not put it in the middle and they moved it to the other end. I think this is a valid concern and it's not an expensive concern to mitigate. I don't think you'd have to go the whole length of the whole building to the back. But if you put in a row of, say, giant arborvitaes every 10 feet for, say, the first 3 units, that would, by the time you get back 2 or 3 units, that should make her sightlines a lot nicer.
Yeah, we're fine adding some green arborvitaes, maybe, 2 or 3 to, grow very large, in the back there, as long as, Peter, you feel that we have room for that.
Yeah, we have room on the downhill side of the.
Yeah,
retaining
that's what-
wall.
Yeah, could, that's.
Cause that retaining wall's wider than, the scale of that retaining wall's a little bit exaggerated.
We're, and just so we don't have to, we can put that as a condition, in there, just saying like the applicant will add more kind of, arborvitae's 3 to 4, in the back there when they're like that, as the added.
But go up like half of that first building, because then you'll be a good way away from 3. Well, first off, let me just make sure the board, are you okay with adding extra trees? You okay with adding extra trees? You okay with adding extra trees? Bob, you okay with adding extra trees? All right, so why don't if we can add that as a condition, that I would say at least 3 units so I see the 3rd unit in there. If we can do like every 10 feet from that point forward down to where we get to that cluster of 3 trees.
Yep.
I don't want to come any further forward where we start hitting the sight lines from the road.
Yep. Yeah, no, I do. And we have some vegetation in the front, plantings in the front that should block that. So we can add some, in the back of those units.
But just be careful, regular arborvitae's, the deer love to eat, but the giant for some reason tastes different.
Yeah.
You're less likely to eat.
We like to use the green giants just because, like I said, the deer, that's generally what we like to use. I want my landscaper to weigh in, but generally.
Have some flexibility, you know what we want.
Yeah.
And you're agreeing to it. So thank you for bringing that forward. I like that you've done that, very much so.
So a final landscape plan, and describe what you wanted again. Every time.
A row of arborvitae's, every 10 feet, from the 3rd unit up on building C. If that's.
Coming forward to that cluster of 3 trees drawn.
Yeah, to the end of the end of the units, close to the village.
Depending on what happens next door, they might want it the whole way, but there's nothing next door right now. And we can put that burden on next door.
Yes, yeah.
Has there been any more development on the next door? Any more inquiries?
No, there haven't. While we're on that subject, I know Anne was blessed with being spotlighted by her across the street neighbors by some big floodlights. Does it make sense through the chair to prohibit lighting on the rear of these buildings, or would that be too onerous to?
Yeah, we would want the lighting in the back, just because we don't want someone to kind of go in, on the back. I mean, we're using the down lighting. So, yeah, we need some lighting in the.
So how about, and I have complimented you guys in the past, I think 149? The lighting there is surprisingly, you don't see it coming down 140. You've kept the light on the property surprisingly well. We would want to hold you to that same standard, that any lighting above the decks there would be purely down lighting, very consciously making sure that there's no spotlights going out.
Yeah,
in the property.
Absolutely.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. That's something that has been very successful at the other place.
Thank you.
I just want to circle around because we're, any other questions or concerns from the audience? Okay. Mike. Can we close the meeting and then just go through these things close the public section and go through this with a discussion? We keep it.
Oh, yeah.
Closing the meeting doesn't mean that you guys can't stay here and hear every single word, but at some point, if we're going to take votes on this, we've got to close the meeting.
Yeah, well, you're closing the public hearing, meaning you're not accepting any new information either from the audience or from the applicant,
Okay.
and you are as a board are in deliberation.
So if you're okay with us doing that at this time, I would take it, and you're okay with us doing that?
Yeah.
All right, so everyone, you okay with us doing that so we can start making decisions? So I'm seeing that. All right. You haven't given a motion tonight. You want to give a motion?
I move that we close the public hearing on the What's the description here?
45 Milford Street comprehensive permit.
Street. Comprehensive permit for 45 Milford Street.
Seconded,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
What was that? What Butler, aye?
Bill Andrews, aye.
Eric Russell, I.
Michael Gill, aye.
Not this
Sure.
time. All right. Procedurally, make sure. Do we have to go through each waiver or can we accept it as where we're at and are any other waivers that we need to discuss?
Mr. Chair, I don't think you've discussed any changes to the waivers, correct? I think,
Not to the
No.
waivers. I think he means the
The
condition.
conditions,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
conditions and yes.
So,
well, I was gonna ask you,
Well, I meant that whole document you sent us. You
Right.
sent a big, huge document.
no, unless there's specific things people want to discuss, we could, the motion could be to approve, a vote to approve the application for a comprehensive permit and to, as drafted by Michael and as amended per our discussion this evening.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Do you feel that I feel we're at that point.
I think so.
Okay, Michael,
Yeah.
do you feel you're good? Bob? Bob, you feel you're at that point? Well, I want,
You just.
he just said it, so I'm just gonna say whatever he said, is that your motion, sir?
That's my motion.
That's your motion. Anyone want to?
I'll second it.
You seconded. Bob Humes,
Aye, Bob Butler, aye.
Bill Andrews, nay.
Eric Russell, I.
Michael Gill, aye.
Here we go.
Passes.
Motion passes.
Does the board, actually, yeah, it makes sense to bring a completed decision to your next meeting for you to all sift through again, just to make sure it looks okay, and then put your signatures on it.
Yeah.
I would otherwise ask you to allow Bill to be one who endorse it, but I think this should come back before you.
Yeah. It's big, it's complicated. He's not gonna start. There's so much stuff there. I figure if you're lucky, you're around in the spring, if you're lucky.
Yes, yeah, I would say, I think the mascot's gonna be there until October, November, so it won't be anytime this fall or winter, so.
I've been, when you start seeing people spray painting graffiti on the road, saying how horrible this is, that should be a little bit of a message to the community that at some, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's brutal.
Yes.
It's noisy, I'm sorry.
No, we,
Noisy all day.
yeah,
And then the road being graded, it's just loud, right? Anybody with a trailer.
Yeah. my,
Yes, they do work at night, they install those poles at night, so
Yeah.
the one thing construction.
I've-
Yeah.
It's gone on.
3 or 4 nights.
if you want it just during the daytime, come up to where we are and Michael is and I am, where we have the pounding of the foundation of the fracking the rock for that
Yeah,
foundation.
combined with the
It's
traffic from the
all
four-wheelers.
day long. So they're using rock hammers. They're not blasting the foundation in for that big project. They're pounding it with a rock and it's all day long. Actually, you hear it too,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, plus the backup, the backup.
Yeah. So,
Not to mention,
but I think you guys got it worse because that is just a horrible stretch of road.
not to mention the repair of 140 if they ever get around to it.
Yeah, 140, yeah. I mean, I've done trench work. You have to move it a year. And let it settle, or there is an option. You can use a fill that's basically a little cement, a light cement. And you can pour that in, then put a final right over it, but it doesn't settle.
Grow the chestnut, that's my answer.
What's that?
Grow the chestnut, you don't have to, you can skip that round.
Yeah.
Still get the 140.
All right, so that business is done. We have some minutes to approve.
This should be in your folder.
Mr. Chair, if I may make one final comment.
Who is this?
John.
It's John Smolak.
Okay, yeah,
What I just wanted to mention quickly that a way to fill the gap on the sidewalk along Milford Street is perhaps filing a Housing Works grant application through the Community One Stop, which is due in June. And this type of public infrastructure is exactly what the Housing Works grant program is designed to deal with, and you could use this project as leverage to secure that grant, and that might be something that you would be able to find. If you file in June, you'd probably have an answer by October. So I just wanted to mention that as another potential funding, a way to fill the funding gap.
There's definitely a strong need, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have to sort of. So let's see.
I don't have any problems with the minutes that's really written, so I just go down the table. Bob, you have any problems with the?
No.
Do you have any problems? Michael, do you have any problems with the minutes as written?
Yeah, that's next.
But do you have any problems with the minutes as written? No. How about you, sir? David, do you have?
No
any-
problem, Larry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, you want to make a motion for me? Do we accept the minutes?
Motion to accept the zoning board minutes of July 15th.
Second, all in favor?
That
Bill Andrews, aye.
Eric Russell, I.
Michael Galvin.
Okay. Any other business for us?
Yeah, you have to approve the regulatory agreement for 47 Main Street.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd sent you all an
You just sent
email.
That out, yeah. Is that one that's,
Yeah, I sent you an email today just commenting that I had reviewed it and I didn't see anything that conflicted with the permit that you already approved the comprehensive permit for it, which is really the only thing I'd look for that. It's a boilerplate document that's provided by the state, so.
Yeah.
But it's a formality for you to approve it. This is the thing for those who aren't familiar, that just kind of set in stone that the units will be affordable. And this is the thing that describes or that there will be a monitoring agent authority that, is what it sounds like. It monitors the fact that these units are kept affordable.
This is for the apartments?
Yes, for the apartments. Yep. So that's it.
good summary.
I didn't have any comments on it.
So I've seen a motion to approve if you don't have comments.
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I move that, that we approve the regulatory agreement for 47 Main Street.
Oh,
All in favor?
we're not changing this tomorrow, right?
Who's aye?
Eric Russell, I.
Michael Galvin.
Okay. Did they ever complete the 40B off of, what's the street, Bob?
James.
James, yeah.
I think they're still working on that.
Still working on it?
Yeah.
Okay, because should be seeing something at the end of that process too.
That's just the signature page for the
So,
regulatory agreement. So that is it. You don't have any other business.
okay. You want to sign it too? Yes. That way you'll show up in Google somewhere. All right, Bob, you want to give us a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. All in favor?
Eric Russell, I.
Michael Galvin.
Bill Andrews, aye. Thank you.